Friends, the national education policy has started several debates on the teaching learning process or the processes that were followed, the pedagogies and the inculcation of values or lack of it in the children. It speaks of a deficit of value systems, morals, and ethics in the current education system. That the debate had to be reignited in the 21st century through a policy intervention must surely make all of us think. Friends, that also is the topic for discussion this Saturday. Need for institute success has only hastened the uncontrolled corruption and decreasing ethical values, unlawful activities, inhuman behavior, and immoral consumption. Now, our education processes produce, money makers, politicians, doctors, lawyers, engineers, artists, and actors, but fails to produce value-based citizens. It's time to reimagine our educational system with values as the focus. Now, whereas technology binds people irrespective of morals or values or ethics, it may not translate in the same way for everyone. Often we have a conflict between our values and our morality. Maybe different segments of the society agree or disagree about whether something is abusive or not, something is acceptable or not, and so on. In such cases, should we act on our desire or on the desire on the society? These are contextual and must be addressed, with logic and equanimity. However, the learning to be able to decide what is right and what is wrong comes out of education, the family, the friends, and the peers. Our ancient education system had a purpose to deliver beyond some semantics, the grammar. It was meaningful in many, many ways. It was grand and noble. It molded the character. Training it imparted promoted completeness of life. The ancient Indian Gurukul system of education was vibrant, very prosperous, value-based, and skills-oriented. It fit the life and the nature into a fine blend. Ethics or ethos in Greek means character. Aristotle had said, temperance, courage, and justice were required to be ethically correct. Morality is the personal or cultural values, course of conduct, or social values derived from a code of conduct. Hinduism, the oldest religion, teaches us the Purusharthas. There are 4 of them, such as dharma or righteousness, and moral values, artha or prosperity and economic values, karma or pleasure, and love and psychological values, and finally moksha or liberation or spiritual values. In order to realize the spirit of these principles, yamas, there are 5 of them. Sutras of Patanjali teaches practices such as satya, which is truth. Ahimsa means non-violence. Asteya, or not stealing. Looking at someone else's smile is not done. And apanigraha, or the virtue of non-possessiveness, or non-greediness. And brahmacharya, or the practice of celibacy. Now, these are the 5 yamas which we must inculcate in the children. Rushworth Kidder, an American author, ethicist, professor, and founder of the Institute for Global Ethics, points out that ethics in education are ethics of justice, ethics of critique, ethics of care, and ethics of profession. It's amazing that our ancient education system was following this in both letter and spirit, both in practices and precepts, for thousands of years. The ancient education system also laid stress, great stress on overall growth of the child. Not only it helped in realizing the higher truth, but also helped lead individuals from darkness into light. As in Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. In order to do this, the Gurukuls laid stress on niyamas, or practices, like shaucha, or purity, clarity of mind, and speech or body, santosha, or containment, acceptance of others, acceptance of one's circumstances as they are, and accept the change, optimism for self, tapas, or persistence, perseverance, austerity, asceticism, self-discipline, and swadhyaya, or study of Vedas, study of self, self-reflection, introspection, or self-thoughts, speech, and actions. And, Ishvara Pranidhana, or contemplation of the Ishvara, or Brahman, or the true Sat. Each of these niyamas help us in our personal growth. They even stressed on the self and practice of asanas for relaxation of mind and the body, pranayama for control of breath, pratyahara for realizing one's own awareness or consciousness, dharana for single-minded purpose, and samadhi or meditation for inner peace. Now these are the 4 asanas every child must know. Even the pedagogies used in our ancient schools were exemplary. Adi Shankara's teaching, learning methodologies were completely student-centric, in sync with education and the values that education must give. Be it Shravana Vedi, or Manana Vedi, or Nididhyasa Vedi, or Prashnottara Vedi, or Tarka Vedi, or Vyakya Vedi, or Adhyalopa Upavada Vedi, or Drishtanta Vedi, or Kathakatana Vedi, and finally Upadesha Vedi. Each method is a revelation in a teaching learning pedagogy. Unfortunately, except for Shravana Vedi and Upadesha Vedi, all other methods are forgotten in our schools, as our teachers want to experiment today only with the ability to reproduce. Now, all those practices which are followed today results in teacher-centric education and is most likely to put off the student completely out of education. Now, in a way, the ancient education did not only believe in imparting competency-based skills, but greatly stressed on the importance of building a synergy between the body, the mind, and the soul. There's a great need to reinvent our education delivery mechanisms and synergetically identify with the past and infuse ethical and moral values. Or are we not seeing a crisis in the values that we possess today, or the values that our children possess today? Education must impart good values, make good citizens, apart from providing employability, logical thinking, and problem-solving skills. What then has caused the ethical deterioration in the Indian education system and its methods? Our education system underwent stupendous changes from the Vedic period of 1500 to 500 BCE and saw Janapada, Magadha, Jainism, Buddhism, Maurya, Gupta, Chalukya, Chola, Pallava, Chara, Pandyan, Mughals, and the British influencing it. It went through so many changes over thousands of years. But none were as profound as the changes brought about by the Britishers. Thomas Macaulay won the debate in 1835 on how to shape the Indian education. And probably this is a conscious effort to kill people for clerical jobs who could then serve the British. So our ancient Hindu education system that depended on Sanskrit were laid to rest. Since that day to this day, introduction of English medium schools, emphasis on modern science and mathematics, and the diminished role of value education ensured a single-dimension growth in the children. Obviously, developing skills was never on the agenda. Globalization, modernization, industrialization, urbanization, privatization, and the influence of the Western culture brought their share of problems. Though it did increase the literacy rate over a period of time, did it raise the learning quotient is the important question. The globalized world seeks a globalized economy. There may not be a way or would be a good idea to turn the clock, several centuries back in time. Our education must inculcate the values enshrined in courage, in kindness, in patience, integrity, gratitude, appreciation, forgiveness, love, growth, listening, respect, self-giving, vision, authenticity, balance, community, compassion, creativity, generosity, justice, learning, freedom, loyalty, openness, prudence, resilience, responsibility, self-respect, spirituality, and wisdom, apart from the modern day skills. Can we really do this in our schools today? Friends, what must be done is reimagine and realign our education priorities within the Hindu backdrop. National Education Policy provides for that. And with that, I end today's episode. To be back the next Saturday with another interesting episode. Until then, thank you, Dhanyavad, and Namaskar.